Hello friends, welcome back to Dainty Gifts School of Decor and Decoupage. Today I want to show you how to use soft pastels or eyeshadow to fill in your two-step crackle cracks. The reason why I'm making this video is because I very often get questions sent to me or questions in the comments asking what you can use instead of metallic pigments that I usually use for two-step crackle. The thing that most people use is different kind of metallic powders or mica powders, but today I want to show you how you can do it on the cheap and with materials that you probably will already have at home. So here I have some coasters that I'm just making for my shop. I know you guys have already seen these and especially this napkin many a times on my channel because I love it so much. And of course I've already done a tutorial on two-step crackle many times. If you're completely new to two-step crackle, I will link some videos down below for you just so you can get your head around what the difference is between one-step and two-step crackles, etc. But for today's video I have already applied my two-step crackle on, and so hopefully you can see these beautiful cracks that have now appeared. So I'm just going to fill them in, and so I'm going to fill them in with soft pastels, but I also wanted to talk you through eyeshadow, so something that most of you will already have at home. I'm personally not a makeup kind of person. I don't really have a lot of makeup palettes or anything. This is in fact my only makeup palette that I've had for years and I haven't used it on my face for years. But I keep it for crafts. So all you're going to want to do is take a synthetic brush and so brush on some pigment and then apply it over your two-step crackle, and then once you're happy with it you can wipe away the excess with a paper towel. As you can see, my only eyeshadow palette has all natural tones in it, so I don't really have a lot of color variety here, but if you have eyeshadow palettes that have more different colors in them, then of course feel free to use any colors that you'd like, which is the reason why I personally really like to use soft pastels. In my previous videos you would have seen me use mica powders, which I now have a pretty big set of all different colored mica powders, but before I had that big set of mica powders I always used to use soft pastels when I wanted to mix up some colors. What I have here is Faber-Castell soft pastels, so this is a set of 48. Again, I bought these back in the day when I was really heavily into adult coloring books to use for backgrounds in my pictures, but since I've moved on to using them in my crafting, and you don't have to buy something that is so kind of branded or has that many different shades and colors. There are many cheaper options out there, so feel free to go for whatever is more accessible to you. The reason why I like these so much, well, first of all, it's a matte pigment, which, as you guys probably know, mica powders or metallic pigments that I have, they are all sparkly and shimmery, which is great, but sometimes you might want some matte pigments, and that's exactly what you have here. And the other reason is the variety of colors, which can be very, very handy when you want to fill in your cracks, not just with like dark or black or gold or something like that, but when you want to kind of get closer to the colors that you might have on your decoupaged piece. Now let me show you what I do with my soft pastels. Just going to move these out the way, and first of all I take a plate to grind my soft pastels onto, and then I take scissors. You can use a precision knife or any other sharp blade that you might have around, and then I pick out some soft pastels that I'm gonna want to use here. In this picture, as you can see, we have obviously the blue-toothed bird, and I have crackles that go like around the eyes and things like that, and on the face and on the blue tip itself. What I want to do is I want to apply some lighter shades over the bird so that it doesn't get distorted as much, and then add some darker tones around the background. So I'm going to pick out some colors. I think I'm going to do like this darker gray, and I just take my scissors and start grinding my soft pastel up like so, just making a powder, just a little bit. We're not going to need a lot. Then I might add a little bit of green into the mix, and as you can see, so the good thing about this is that you can mix these powders together and create the exact shade that you want. So this gives you the freedom of choice. And then I think I might add a little bit of this green. And I'll take a beige and just grind it up here onto the side, and a little bit of white. So I've ground them up, I've got my colours that I want to use. Now I'm going to take my fluffy synthetic brush. This is the brush that I personally tend to gravitate towards when I do two-step crackle. I don't know, I just like it. Out of all of my brushes, this is the one that I find the best for doing it. And I'm just going to start picking up the colours. I'm going to start going from the outside. So add a little bit of dark here. And then I might add a little bit of green here. And as you can hopefully see, you can really play around with the tones and make the background even more interesting or less visible if you just pick out colors that aren't, like here for example. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this green and mix it in with these lighter shades just to kind of darken it up a slight little bit, and then go over the blue tit and over its face. As you can see, the crackle is appearing, you can see it, but it's not as distracting. I usually just end up with this kind of muddy mix in the end because I like to mix them all up together and blend them well and just kind of allow them to blend, going from one shade to another. And it really allows you to just control the amount of crackle that you decide to show. So instead of just using one color, you have the freedom to use all sorts of different colors. And like I already said, if you have eyeshadow instead, you can literally do the exact same thing with all different shades of eyeshadow, but instead of having to grind it up into like a powder that you can apply, you can just pick it up with a brush directly from your pan if you wanted to. Then once you've applied your powder, once you're happy with the amount that you've applied, you just simply take a bit of tissue or toilet roll and just gently wipe away any excess before you go ahead and seal it so that your picture doesn't become muddy. Talking from experience, I've definitely done that many a times. And I'm just going to finish up filling in these two, and then I'm going to seal them with my varnish. Now the varnish that I'm going to use for these coasters is going to be this heavy duty wood varnish by Polyvan, because it's heat proof, waterproof, it's completely non-stick, it's completely dead flat matte finish, and I just really like to use it for my coasters. That's for the people that haven't seen any of my other coaster tutorials, which I also have quite a few on my channel if you wanted to have a look. And yeah, that is all I wanted to say in this little tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you would like to see more. Share it with somebody who might find it helpful. Lots of love from my house to yours, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!